Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, we will review Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 20, The Last Rodeo, and Episode 21, The Final Decision, where we get to see the cast's final decision in their first all-cast meetup. To be a part of the congregation, please subscribe. To be part of the conversation, please comment. And to contribute to today's offering, please drop a like in the collection plate. And with that, let's get started. I cannot believe that we are finally at decision day. Though I do not know how I feel because I take these relationships so personal because I really do want them to make it. Let's just get into it. I do not have a formalized script. I have watched both of the episodes twice and I have my thoughts written down. So let's get into it. Jasmine and Airris. We are one day until decision day and Airris is packing up to leave so that they can separate for the night. And Jasmine says she is going to miss Airris when he is gone. It's hard for me to look at this scene knowing the outcome and hearing what Airris said on the after party. It makes me wonder if this is a producer setup scene and they have to ask the reasons why they will stay or go. Well, let's just look at it. Jasmine would say yes because they have so much fun together. They would have fun for the rest of their lives. Airris says they have a solid foundation and they get along. He knows married couples that don't get along well like they do, which is so true. He can see why the experts match them. As difficult as he has made it, they have still grown, and that's a testament to both of them. Jasmine says her mind has been expanded as it relates to intimacy, and if Airris says yes, it will be yes to staying committed, because he feels like he has been very committed during this process. Jasmine in her selfie cam says she wished they had more time. They really vibe off of each other and she wished they were both able to give 1000%. I'm a little confused by Jasmine, or maybe my mother was right when she said it's not what you say, but how you say it. Either Jasmine is playing in our faces or she really believes this marriage would have a shot and would be willing to stick it out even after Airris has told her that he is going to say no on decision day and that he is not attracted to her. Personally, if these are her true feelings, then I admire Jasmine and believe that this is the kind of person that you need on this show. You need someone with tough skin who easily forgives and has the ability to go through the difficult situations with grace. And I think we have seen that with Princess Jasmine. The true test will be her interview after the show. If she can maintain her truth of wanting the relationship to work in spite of how Airris felt and how she was able to move with love and grace after hearing some hard truths, I think she can be a testament to a lot of people. Maybe Airris is really good with his words and communicating his thoughts in truth without putting the person down and making them feel bad about themselves. I have a friend, and a lady at our church was providing daycare services for her kids. One of the kids claimed that the daycare provider mistreated them. She took her kids out of the daycare and went to the lady and told her that she was going to report her to the child licensing people and that she was nothing personal, but she had to protect her children. The lady was accepting of that, and they had an amicable relationship at church, even after she made the report. I think that some people really can't communicate their truth in love, and maybe that is Airris. He said that he told Jasmine the first night after they'd moved into the apartment together the things that he was not attracted to about her. but she still has been kind and loving, and they still have had a really nice amicable relationship. They still continue to sleep in the same bed. And I think that says a lot about Jasmine's character and how she receives truth. And also, I think it says a lot about Airris's character and how he delivers truth. Because I feel like if he had did it in a manner like Chris in his season with Chris and Paige, that was just the wrong way. He was very disrespectful, he was very dismissive, and he was very demeaning to Paige. And also, I guess, he said a lot of things that were mean and hateful on camera, where I don't think that Airris has done that. Airris talks about the beauty of Jasmine. He talks about that she is beautiful, but he is just not attracted to her. And I think that helps as well. We are now at decision day. Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal have hopes. And at this time, I was having hopes too, because when I first watched the episode, I did not know the outcome. And I had such high hopes, especially given their discussion the day before decision day. They had me, ooh. Jasmine and Airris arrived for decision day, and I must say, Princess Jasmine, she pulled out all the stops. She looked absolutely beautiful. I think that she was best dressed. She went back to her pageant consultant, and was like, hey, I am pulling out all the stops, because if this thing is not going to work, I am going to show him what he is going to be missing. And girlfriend, she did that. She looked absolutely gorgeous. They discuss the good things about them, and they say that they are both non-confrontational. They grew to have tough conversations. Jasmine stayed true to herself and got better at speaking up for herself. They validated each other's feelings during the tough conversation, and I think that is huge. The way we communicate is very, very important. I think that we've seen that from Jasmine and Airris, how they do validate each other's opinions and their thoughts and feelings. I think that Airris has done a great job of validating how Jasmine may feel and taking responsibility for the part that he's played in it and how he has not made it a safe place for them. They say the challenge was him not being attracted to Jasmine. She has tried to be supportive of Airris in that, although others may think she is crazy, but she believes she is beautiful enough. I did not like her referring to herself as a female dog, but I do like that she thinks she's beautiful and that she can support him in that. And I just hope that after the show wraps and they begin to do interviews, that she upholds that and she continues to support him in that. Honestly, if Jasmine fully stands in this experience, she can really make a difference in the lives of people. Her supporting him in his feelings of not being attracted to her is so deep. The reason I think this is Jasmine's calling is she is beautiful, and it relates to worldly standards. If she was average and the world agreed with Airris, I don't think she would have like that big of a impact. But to have been rejected when she is literally a beauty queen, that is a big deal. This could truly be Jasmine's purpose moment. So I hope that she embraces that. I feel like she can make a great impact being America's sweetheart, basically, and somebody doesn't find you attractive. I think that that is wonderful, because if the world didn't find her attractive, then maybe she'd have a harder time. But I think that just talks about how it's not all about your beauty, but you have to have more than just be beautiful. You have to have, the greatness inside and out, and you have to have confidence in yourself, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I love the way she has conducted herself, because she has shown her beauty without and within. Jasmine thinks that they were matched well and they are compatible. However, it takes two people to be in a marriage. They both say no on decision day. She does mention their private conversations, as to why they need to say no, but doesn't really elaborate on that. I'm glad he shared his decision with her before decision day, which he told us about on the after party. And I'm glad that she went first, to just save herself and just, the respect on television. Honestly, I think that she wanted to say yes. I think that she would have said yes. So I'm really glad that Airris kind of gave her a heads up. Airris says self-love is important to him, and he equates that to her changing the temperature in the room when things are going wrong. I think what he is trying to say is that we should not depend on another person to make us happy, or how we feel shouldn't relate to what's going on with another person. Jasmine says that Airris has commitment issues, and that's one reason why they did not work out, and that the first step is Airris admitting it, and he has admitted it, but that's only one step. Oh man, my final thoughts on this couple. I think they can teach us a lot about communication, validating the thoughts and opinions of others, speaking the truth in love. Beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. I'm kind of sad that they did not work out. However, because of the after party, I think I have a perspective on it that makes it less devastating. I think they are both going to make great spouses. Yes, even Airris. I like that Airris always leads and takes responsibility for the temperature in their home. And I love that Jasmine has a thick skin, can forgive, moves through life full of grace. I understand more fully why Airris kept mentioning that he did not give Jasmine a safe place to express herself. So I understand Jasmine a little more fully as to why she found it hard to go deep and to be vulnerable. In my last review, I mentioned how I would be heartbroken if this couple didn't make it, like I was for Iris and Keith. However, I'm heartbroken when any marriage doesn't work out, even married at first sight marriages, but not like I was with Airris and Keith. I think that the after party and the vulnerability that Airris has showed us as to why it didn't work out. And, it's fully up to him. He kind of was the deciding factor. But I think that the difference is that Airris showed us the issue early on, and that issue carried on until decision day, where for Keith, he didn't really reveal his issues. So at the end, I'm just like, what happened? So I'm not as heartbroken about this couple not making it as I thought I would be. And I wish them both success in their future relationship endeavors. We then see one day after decision day, Airris and Jasmine pack up together to leave. It was starting to feel like home to both of them, and Airris says he is not starting over. It was only 2 months, so he is not just that attached. But Jasmine is going to speak up more moving forward and be sure her feelings are out in the open. Jasmine said that she was a great wife and she does not have to change much moving forward. Airris wants to visit Duchess, and Airris has no regrets. If he could go back, he would go back and be more vulnerable earlier. I don't know. I thought he was vulnerable, but maybe not vulnerable. That would create intimacy. They symbolically lay their rings on the counter because they have to go back and get them later, because it's my understanding that they have to wear those rings until the show kind of almost plays out itself, so that we won't know if they said no or yes on decision day. We then see them 3 days after decision day. Jasmine is unpacking at her mom's house, and she is talking to her Aunt Patricia. She says Airris was faking. He did not try. He wanted to be married, but was not ready for marriage. Aunt Patricia takes her wine back, and Jasmine does not believe that Airris will really come to visit Duchess. We then see Airris. He's at his apartment, and he is with Cheese and Raven. And Airris says that he's learned that everything should be done with purpose, and he is going to date differently moving forward. And I agree, we should even date intentionally. He shares with his roommate Cheese and his girlfriend Raven that he is back on the market. Did we know that Cheese was Airris's roommate? I don't think he mentioned that in the preseason. I don't remember him mentioning that. And it kind of looked like Raven lived there too. So I'm not sure if both of them live there, but I'm nosy enough to want to know. He asked Raven to hook him up with her friends. Cheese says a long-term relationship before marriage will help Airris to help him get the traits needed for a marriage, which sounds like it's the whole commitment thing. And in the beginning, when Airris talked about how had never been in love, I didn't see that as a really big thing. Hey, it wasn't a big deal to me, but maybe that really did play into it, and he can't really commit, and that is why he just could not commit to Jasmine. Raven says that he needs to be real about his standards. He might get an 8 out of 10 from his list, but not a 10 out of 10. Nobody is going to be perfect. Airris says that he wants to date someone they can be tall, short, thick, thin, no more than 2 years older or 8 years younger. But it's so interesting that what he described is basically Jasmine. She could be tall, thin, whatever. He described traits that Jasmine has. So how is he evaluating attraction? And he did talk about it a little bit on the after party, but I don't know. I really do need to know what he did not find attractive about Jasmine. I really do want to know, but I am so glad that he did not find her attractive and she's actually beautiful, because I feel like if it just had been an average person, I think I'm average, then it would have been a different story and it would have played itself out a little more negatively. But since I think most people in the world believe Jasmine is attractive, and she has proven her attractiveness by being America's beauty queen. So let me know what you think about Airris and Jasmine. Were you fooled like me? Did you think they were going to say yes on decision day? Why do you think that they didn't make it? Why do you think Airris is not attracted to Jasmine? What are the specific reasons do you think that Airris is not attracted to Jasmine? So let me know what you think about this couple in the comments. Nicole and Chris. It's one day until decision day, and Chris is getting ready to leave the apartment so that they can spend their last night apart. And Nicole does not want the one day apart because she says that might give them enough time to rethink their commitment and decide to say no on decision day. Nicole wants them to say yes on decision day, knowing that they will do what it takes to make the marriage work. She used the words to make each other happy and to feel loved. I don't think you can make another person happy. However, I do think you should go into a marriage with the mindset that you will do whatever it takes to make the marriage work. Chris would say no on decision day if he believes that Nicole is always going to question his intentions. If she never comes to the place that she believes they are on the same page. Well, Chris, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but I believe that's just who Nicole is, and that will continue to be a problem in their relationship. I am excited to see how this turns out because I think this is a common personality trait of many people. Look at Stasia. Honestly, this is the same problem that Stasia in their relationship. However, Chris is handling it very differently than Nate's reaction. And I think that is what's making the difference. But I think this is pretty common. I think that we're going to see it again in the future. And I'm really going to follow their journey to see how this turns out for both of them. We are now at decision day. And we know Chris and Nicole's issues are that Chris has an appeasing nature and Nicole is insecure. Nicole wants Chris to focus on taking care of himself, and Nicole thinks Chris is indecisive. They believe that they are both matched because they both talk a lot, they have a love for dogs, and they balance each other out. He is mild and she is extreme. The challenging things is Nicole's insecurity by making issues that are nothing into something. The challenges that they have with one another is that Nicole needs reassuring and is insecure, and Chris does not put enough time into caring for himself. They both say yes on decision day. We see the celebration toast, and Chris bought Nicole flowers. We are now one day after decision day, and they are happy in love after decision day. We move on to 3 days after decision day. They are in Chris's apartment. Nicole and Chris, they signed their new lease. However, the apartment is not ready and they are still going to have to wait. Nicole wants a shared account and Chris wants to share costs through Venmo or Cash App. Nicole is in the process of changing her name. She shares that she received a packet with all the required documents needed in order for her to change her name. Well, that was all for this couple. What do you think? I am sure none of us are shocked about their yes on decision day. What do you think about them moving into Chris's apartment with those 3 dogs? I think that is way too much. What do you think about Chris not wanting to get a joint bank account? And do you think this couple will make it beyond the reunion? Let me know what you think about this couple in the comment section. Gina and Clint, don't blink, because if you do, you are going to miss this review. I did not have much to say about Gina and Clint. We first see them one day before decision day, and Gina is ready to be alone and excited for time apart from Clint. She says she will send him pictures of Hank. We then see them on decision day, and Clint says he needs reciprocity in a relationship, and Gina is not giving him any of that, which I agree. I feel like Clint has done a lot in order to get into Gina's world, and we've only seen Gina do one thing, which was to go sailing with Clint to get into his world. Clint says he is more active and he has not been able to do that. Gina says that if Clint would have put up a fight, then attraction would have grown. But personally, I do not believe her. I don't believe her at all. I do think that Clint could have initiated some more outdoor activities. I don't know if she would have gone or not, but I think that Clint was treading lightly, and we've seen this in many other seasons. We've seen it with Jasmine and I forgot her husband's name, and that, you know, it's always a debate. Should he make a move or should he not? But I think that once you are kind of standoffish, when she decided that she wasn't going to move in with him, and then they had to go through that whole discussion, I think for Clint, he was just wanting to move at her own pace. And when she didn't even join rooms with him, I mean, I feel like he was just trying to take clues from Gina. So hindsight is always 2020. I don't know what would have happened. Generally on these seasons, I am with the impression that the guy should not be aggressive towards a female, because I think that you can really get accusations put on you if the person is not receptive. So I always think that, you know, it is good for the guy to err on the side of caution when they are approaching these situations, just because it's so short and you don't really know the person, and you don't know what the person will or will not do. So I don't know if attraction would have grown. I don't know what that would have looked like, but I think that Clint is a stand-up guy. I think he handled himself very well. And I think that the relationship did not work because of Gina. They both said no on decision day, but Clint did offer her $10,000 for Hank. But for now, Gina said no. But we don't know if there will be a counter offer on the table. It is one day after decision day, And Gina indicates that she is going out of town and asks Clint if he wants to watch Hank. And he is more than happy to do it. They then place their keys and their rings on the counter, and they are now officially neighbors, which we know that is a producer scene where they put their rings and put their keys down on the counter, because we know they take them back up again, because the rumor is that they have to wear their wedding rings until the show airs, so that we as the audience will not know if they said yes or no on decision day. So I do like the scene though, it is producer led, especially when you see each of the couples doing it, but I do like it. I think it's very symbolic, and it's a married at first sight thing. So not knocking it, I'm just pointing out that it is a producer led scene. We then see them 2 days after decision day, and Clint is in his apartment and he stores his wedding photos in the closet, and he shares with his friend Elizabeth, who is on the phone, that he is now unmarried. He thinks he can move on with previous relationships after going through this experiment, and I can definitely see that happening. I feel like hindsight is always 20/20, and you think you're in a negative place or negative space within your relationship because you're looking for something more. But once you kind of experience something like this, you're like, you know what I had was awesome, and I would love to have that again. And I think that is something we all need to work on, is just like living in the moment and being appreciative of where we are, because we're always looking for that big moment. But life is really made up of the small details of moments that occur. Gina is at her apartment and she is unpacking with Haley, and she's on the phone with her mom and her stepdad. She says she is ready for marriage. She wants to read the room, and she says that Clint made her feel uncomfortable. See, there she goes again. She takes every opportunity she can to say something negative about Clint. Clint didn't say nothing negative about Gina. He just said, it didn't work out. He's going to move on. He focused on himself. But every time Gina gets an opportunity, she says something negative about Clint. And I don't like it. Well, that's it for this couple. What did you think? Do you think Gina was ready to get away from Clint the day before decision day? What do you think about Gina accusing Clint of not pursuing her enough, and that attraction could have grown if he had been more aggressive? And what do you think about Clint offering Gina $10,000 for Hank? Do you think he should have sold her the dog? See, I'm not a dog lover, so I would have took the money. But I guess since I'm not a dog lover, I wouldn't have a dog. Since I am not a dog lover, I don't have a dog, nor would I. So I guess I would have never gotten that opportunity. So let me know what you think in the comment section. KIRSTEN and SHAQUILLE. Well, here is the real deal Holyfield. This is the couple of the night, KIRSTEN and SHAQUILLE. We first see them one day until decision day. I loved what KIRSTEN said. She said that they were going to pray about it, but sometimes as humans, we get into our own heads and we start doubting things. SHAQUILLE says that he will say no if he does not feel within his heart he is at 100%. I didn't really know what that means, feeling your heart at 100%, but we eventually hear that later as well. KIRSTEN said if SHAQUILLE says no, she is going to get up and walk out of the room. But when he asked her, does that mean that she is going to say yes, she says she has to think about it. I thought that meant that she was going to say yes as well. So I was kind of confused, and I was with SHAQUILLE on this one, since you're going to get up and walk out the room. If I say no, then that means that you've already made up your mind to say yes. In her cameo, KIRSTEN says she finally got comfortable with him, let her guard down, and became vulnerable, and she does not know if they have what it takes to make the marriage work. And we get a lot of communication back and forth about this particular thing, but personally, I think to let your guard down to someone that you don't know and to be vulnerable, and it happens within 8 weeks, I think that's great. Now, don't get me wrong, I can be vulnerable, let my guard down in the first day, because I'm more like Jasmine and I would be built for this particular experiment. But for people like KIRSTEN and my favorite, which is, oh, what's the guy's name? Jeffy. Jeffy. If Shanice can put up with Jeffy for most of the season, telling her, I don't know you like that. See, I don't know you. See, I don't know who you are. See, I don't know you. So if you have not seen that season, I feel like there are certain couples that people should watch before they go on the show, because you can get a range of personalities. And I think Jeffy was the one who had the hardest time opening up and verbally communicated to Shanice that you are a stranger. I don't know you like that. I mean, I just don't know you. And it was weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was still saying he did not know her. So I think that it's great if you can open up within an 8-week period. I don't think that that is a negative. I think that SHAQUILLE is making it a negative, but I don't think it is a negative. In the scheme of things, you don't know the person. You got to warm up to them, see who they are, develop trust. She appears disappointed that he is leaving the house, and they are very playful when he's about to go. And I thought that that was really cute. And I thought that was another sign that she really likes him and she's into him now, although we know that she wasn't at the beginning, and that she would want this marriage to work. So maybe he's just in his own head. We then see them at decision day, and they indicate that they struggle with communication. SHAQUILLE does not know who is leading and who is supporting. Is that a permanent role in a relationship? One is always leading and the other is always supporting? I don't agree with that statement. It's an ebb and flow. You support one another. And although the man is the head of the household, biblically, and I agree with that, a great man knows the subjects that best led by his spouse. So even in a relationship where the man is the head of the house, does not mean that the wife never leads. You lead with your strengths, and whoever's the strongest in that area, you support each other. So I really did not understand how he was saying that he does not know who is the lead and who is supporting, as if that's a permanent position. I do feel like he believes that, though. I believe that he believes that she should always be in a supportive role and he should always be leading, because he talks about how he is not supported, but he doesn't support her. I don't see that he supported her. Maybe if we find out later that he made the logo and did all these things to help her improve her business, but it was not shown on the show. So from what we see, it is not shown on the show. Even when he walks in the door, he doesn't even greet her. So that doesn't seem supportive at all. But I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. SHAQUILLE is more emotional and sensitive, and KIRSTEN needs to learn how to support him. KIRSTEN found it hard that she let him down on his Memphis trip, which we've heard over and over and over and over. She says that was a big deal in their marriage. And I do believe that there are certain things that happen in your marriage that is such a big deal. And the thing is that you don't realize it till after it happens and the other person makes a big deal about it. And some things can just linger on and on and on. So although I disagree that SHAQUILLE should have made a big deal about it, but I agree with KIRSTEN that this became a big deal in her marriage. And I think that that really drove a wedge into the relationship, which I don't understand why, because SHAQUILLE admitted that he didn't communicate correctly. He just kind of told her to, ask her if she wanted to go. And then he insinuated that she could just hang out with her friends. And she was like, if I'm going to go on a work trip with you to hang out with my friends who I'm really not feeling right now, not in that way, not that there's any tension between them, then I can just stay home and be with my friends who I haven't had time to spend with here. So I thought he made a really big deal about a situation he helped create. He says he showed up for them, but felt alone. Really, SHAQUILLE? It sounds very needy to me. He sounds like he is such a needy person. That ended the first episode, and it left them on this cliffhanger as to whether he was going to say yes or no. We know that he ended up saying no, but even in the cliffhanger that week between episode episode 20 and episode 21. I had so much hope still, just because of how their relationship looked and how they were developing. I even watched a few videos because I am not opposed to spoilers, but I don't know. I still had hope. I still had hope. I still had hope. Even in Mass Fams on Instagram, they had posted that all the couples said no except one couple, and we had already seen Nicole and Chris, say yes. I wanted them to say yes so bad that I was hoping that the spoiler was wrong. Man, I was very, very disappointed. In episode 21, SHAQUILLE says no. He can't be the man that she needed him to be because he was unable to step up. He has felt alone, and he's felt that in times he's needed her, she has not been there. He says he showed up every day. He tried to get her to let her guard down. He says he has been there for her since day one. Has he though? It seems like he has needed all the attention, and the only thing we saw him do for KIRSTEN was to visit that home. KIRSTEN says, I wish things were different. Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper and me, we don't know what happened. And oh my God, Pastor Cal's face looked so disappointed. Oh my God, he was heartbroken. We are all shocked. I was very shocked. KIRSTEN said, why is he crying? I should be the one crying. He said no. Pastor Cal says he won't get any better than that. I agree. I think that KIRSTEN was great for him. And I don't know. I hope they get back together before they get divorced, because I think that they will make a good couple. I hope that maybe seeing the show gives them a different light on each other, and that they can reconcile. We then see SHAQUILLE one day after decision day. SHAQUILLE is packing up, and he is talking to Bryson at his home, and he lets us know that KIRSTEN came earlier and packed her stuff, and they would not be able to get to see each other because she was already packed up and left the house, which is the same thing that I would have done. I don't want to have no conversation. You said all that you needed to say when you said no. I do not blame KIRSTEN. Personally, I probably would have done that even if I was Jasmine or any of them. Like, well, what we got to talk about? Why are we going to be here again? So, I would have packed up in the middle of the night as well. We do see KIRSTEN making her exit, and although SHAQUILLE says he hopes that she does not have any bad feelings, it looks like she does. It looks like she's really upset about this decision. I don't know. I would have done the same thing. I would have packed up my stuff and got out of Dodge before he could blink an eye. We then see KIRSTEN 2 days after decision day. She is at home trying to organize her closet, and she is talking to her friend, and she says that he had the nerves to cry when she should have been crying. What she heard is that he needed her to be more nurturing. He felt alone, as if she was not there for him. And because of this experiment, she will be more aware of people's feelings and try to be there emotionally for others. So I think that was a great lesson for her to learn. She is going to focus on herself, and when the time is right, it will happen. It's up from here. She is going to focus on herself, her health, her business, and her wealth. I hear you, KIRSTEN. That's the season I'm in as well. I feel exactly the same way. I am going to focus on those things as well. But for me, I am married, so I do have to include my husband in that as well. But I just feel like right now I'm in a time where I just want to focus on me. So I am with you, KIRSTEN. I am going to focus on myself, my health, my business, and my wealth, and my husband. She does not like the dating process. I would not want to go to dating again. I think it's a very difficult process. I kind of married my first real boyfriend, so maybe I don't even know how hard it can be. I didn't have many boyfriends, but I would not want to be dating again. I will just deal with what I got and try my best to make it work. I do not want to be single. She just wants a partner. I agree. I like being married. I would not want to go back to dating. She is going to organically allow it to flow to her one day at a time. We then see SHAQUILLE 3 days after decision day, and he is doing a fake workout. I think that was fake. It just didn't seem natural. Something that he does seemed like a setup scene. Like, if you want to work out, why don't you go work out and do a workout? But maybe they have to have that interaction to make it, I don't know, more interactive. I don't know, but I felt like it was a fake scene. He was boxing, which he said he's never done before. Then why start now? It appears that he has a burn on his chest or something. It's just really, you can see it right through his t-shirt. So if somebody knows what that is, let me know. It seemed like it was very large, so it didn't seem like something that he would have from the car accident, since he was younger when that happens. But I don't know how bruises work. Maybe as a little kid it's small, and then it just kind of grows with your body as your body expands. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comments if anybody knows what that was, or if that was a burn that was a residue from the accident that he had when he was younger, and him and his family was in that car accident. We then see Nicole and KIRSTEN, and they're going shopping, and we learn that Chris and Nicole have moved into Chris's apartment instead of waiting for their new lease in their new apartment. KIRSTEN does not plan to contact SHAQUILLE, but thinks he should reach out to her to see how she is doing. Nicole says that it's all awkward, and he does not know what the response would be, so maybe he's a little uncomfortable by reaching out to her. Nicole does not see them getting back together. She says it was not there, and more time would not have made it be there. And she, like us, is grieving over the breakup, but she does not think they need to get back together. But she does believe that KIRSTEN needs closure. We then see SHAQUILLE in his apartment, and he gets a visit from Christian and his wife Tasha, and SHAQUILLE has no regrets. He says the thing that he misses most is waking up and going to sleep with someone. That seems like an odd thing to miss the most, going to bed and waking up with someone. What about the relationship part and all the things in between? I mean, not to say that's not a really good part of it, but that just seems weird to be the best part and not the relationship, that you missed the relationship or who she is or what you guys did together, or how you laughed or anything like that. It's so interesting because Airris and Jasmine talked about what a great relationship they had, how they're friends, how they laugh, and all of this kind of stuff, and how other married couples, they don't even have that. And I think that they were talking about SHAQUILLE and KIRSTEN, not exactly per se, but it seems like that they had a very difficult relationship, like a lot of people do in marriage. And it's probably an example of what Jasmine and Airris were talking about, which is really sad that they couldn't stay together, although they have really good chemistry and they get along well and they're able to have fun together. SHAQUILLE would like to be friends with KIRSTEN to see if it turns out to be something more. His friends thought they were a great match. See, we all agree. SHAQUILLE says he was not excited to come home to KIRSTEN. That is so sad. That is so sad. That is so sad that he was not excited to come home to her. I don't know if that's sad or mean or, I don't know. I cannot wait to hear what he says in the interviews, because even some of the things he said on the after party, I don't think is the person that we see. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. We then get the cast meetup where everybody is going to share the outcome of their relationship, and the exes are meeting at the Axe place. What an adventure for a lot of people who just broke up with each other. But hey, you know, they didn't throw any axes this week. Maybe next week they'll enjoy the fun. Dominique gives us her update first, and she says that she has a new dog named Bo, and she is not dating. And McKinley is dating and bitter, and he feels some type of way that Dominique got a dog. He feels sorry for the dog because Dominique works 8 to 5. She likes to travel and party on the weekend. Is that a disqualification for a dog owner? Because that describes about 50% of dog owners in America. They work 8 to 5, they travel sometimes, and they go out on the weekends. He is a bitter, bitter Bob. He says she is immature, but I think he's immature, honestly. I think he's immature. He needs to just move on. I know it's heartbreaking. It was only, 10 days? So just move on. We see how everybody else ended. So she just didn't want to go through the drama and, show out for the cameras. So I don't really fault Dominique for making that decision, seeing that half the people on the show make that decision. They just kind of go through the motions. Airris shares that he and Jasmine said no, but they want to remain friends, and she says she needed Airris to grow, and Airris will be a dog dad, and he wants to visit with Duchess. Clint jokes that him and Gina will be renewing their vows, and Gina is not here for it. Oh my God. She was like, what are you doing? She probably said to herself, this is what I'm talking about. You can't read the room. She didn't say that out loud, but I'm sure she was thinking about that because she did not seem excited about the joke. But he says they are amicable. Now they're neighbors, and Clint has visitation rights to Hank. We then get to Nicole and Chris, and of course, they said yes on decision day. Now for the big news, SHAQUILLE shares that he decided to say no because it was an emotional roller coaster for the both of them. He does not want KIRSTEN to hate him. He respects KIRSTEN as a person, but does not think they were soulmates. KIRSTEN says she was willing to give the marriage a chance because she can't get to know a person in 8 weeks. It will take her some time to get past this. KIRSTEN makes it clear to Jasmine that this is a door closed on her marriage, and she is not planning on contacting SHAQUILLE whatsoever. When you have something, you take your chances, and when it's gone, it is gone. When she closes a chapter, then she moves on without the person. She is still processing everything, but life goes on, and this is how she feels for now. SHAQUILLE says in a cameo that KIRSTEN may find her Prince Charming, and you never know, it might be him again. See, I've heard this before. I knew a husband and wife, and they were married a long time, at least 10, 15 years, and the husband decided to divorce the wife. They were a Christian couple. Not for any biblical reason, I might add. They separated. There were no cheating or anything like that going on. Just, I don't even know, because I was around them all the time, and they seemed like a very loving couple who were just after God's own heart. And like, I was literally heartbroken. I was so heartbroken. And so the husband came over because I was really close to them. And the husband came over and basically was consoling me because I was distraught because they were getting a divorce. And he was just like, oh, we'll get back together. This is just temporary. They had 3 kids at the time. Yeah, they had 3 kids at the time. And oh my God, I was literally distraught because I couldn't understand it. I could not see it at all. And he was initiating the divorce, and they got divorced. And he told me that day, he said, don't worry, we're going to get back together, and we're going to renew our family. And I'm just like, that doesn't even make sense, because why are you going to divorce somebody that you're initiating that you're going to get back together? I feel like if you're in that particular state, then you just need to separate. Why divorce? If you are going to get back together, or you're going to work on getting back together, then do not divorce. Separate and work on getting back together. But he divorced her, and a couple months later she was married. He missed that boat. She was married to some guy, and maybe not a couple of months, maybe it was like a year later or so, married to someone they both knew in common, somebody from her past. They hadn't dated in the past, but they knew each other from the past, and she's happily married today, and he is still, I guess, waiting. SHAQUILLE, don't count on it. Sometimes they move on without you, and you have this little thought in your mind that does not pan out like you want it to. Dominique leaves the event to go visit her friend in the hospital, and Nicole asks McKinley and Gina if they want to date each other. and find out if the show made a mismatch. In a cameo, Clint says he did not see that coming. Airris does confirm that it is word on the street that they do have an attraction towards one another. McKinley says that he's open to meeting with Gina, and Gina will keep them updated on what happens. Chris says, married at second sight. I don't know what I think about this. Generally, I would say no, like, you just don't date, kind of like your friend's ex-husband or whatever. I don't know, but this is such a different situation because, they all kind of met at the same time. You were matched by a matchmaker. And so I don't know. I don't know if I think that this is out of bounds or not. But let me know what you think in the comments. I guess my final thought as we bring this season to a close and see what happens during the aftermath is I'm really disappointed with KIRSTEN and SHAQUILLE. I really do hope they get back together. I did see a picture of Nicole and Chris and KIRSTEN and SHAQUILLE, so I'm hoping that just gives me some type of small hope that they were able to reconcile the relationship. I am disappointed about Jasmine and Airris. I'm not as disappointed as I thought I would be, just because, hey, I don't totally understand it, but he has explained his side and his reasoning. I do think that this could be a really good platform for Jasmine, where she can really encourage women, just to be confident within themselves. And this girl that I work with, she always says, you know what? I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's. So, we're not everybody's cup of tea, but we are somebody's. So just finding value within yourself and not letting someone else dictate like who you are. And although Airris said that Jasmine doesn't love herself, I don't agree with that. I think Airris is more saying that, you don't want to depend on someone else for your mood swings, kind of to make you happy. But I think that Jasmine has a lot of love for herself, because I think that if she didn't, she wouldn't have been tough enough to stand up in this particular situation, because it was very difficult situation. I have high hopes for Chris and Nicole. I love that Nicole is able to shut her mouth, hold her tongue, especially when it's things that she disagrees about, and she gives him time to kind of process. And I do like that she is allowing him to lead, because if you're going to be in a submissive role, you have to allow the other person to lead. And we know that Nicole has a bigger personality than Chris, so it may be like a little harder for him. But even in the apartment situation, he wanted them to make one decision at a time, and then after that decision is made, then go ahead and get the apartment. And that's exactly what they did. So I really like that about her. Even about the finances, she just said, hey, he'll see in a minute that this is not going to work. But she's allowing him to do it on his own terms and not nagging him to do what she wants him to do, which is what we probably thought her personality would be. So I have high hopes for this couple. I hope they can continue to work through any differences that they have. And I think that since Nicole was able to grow through the process of dealing with her suppressed traumas, that maybe she can find a little more self-worth and self-confidence within herself, so that won't continue to be an issue with them. Clint and Gina, I don't know. I still think that Gina did not give it a try. I don't like the negativeness that she has for Clint. I think that she just started it all going negative when not really when she made the gingerly comment, because he took it very well, but how she took his comment about athletic and slender. I think that for her, she was not able to forgive and move past that. It's interesting that they are neighbors. I do hope that Clint is able to visit with Hank. And I don't think that Clint is going to try to steal Hank like the promo will suggest. I don't think that he's that type of person. So I don't think that's what it's going to be at all. And you know how production is. They will try to fool us But I've enjoyed the season. I've really enjoyed every single episode. I watch these shows because I think it's a study of people and our behaviors and how we respond and react based on our own personal experience. So, for that reason, I genuinely love the show and I just love the ebbs and flow that it goes in. But I am sad because they did not all remain married. Well, that put these episodes in the books. Until next time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.